everyone. We are on with Hanna Hunter. Hanna comes to us from Kennett, Missouri, where she's originally from, and she is an elementary teacher at Kennett Public Schools. Hanna is a graduate of Missouri State University down in Springfield. Her and our fellow Bears go Bears. And she is in her 7th year of teaching. Hanna's been a middle school girls health and physical education teacher for a couple of years and is currently an assistant girls tennis coach at Kennett High School. So Hanna is here today to talk about equity, diversity, inclusion in the rural setting. So Hanna, the show is now yours.
Hey, I am, like you said, Hanna Hunter, and I am from Kennett, Missouri. I graduated from Kennett, Missouri in 2009. I'm a Missouri State alumni. So I live in Kennett, Missouri, which is a very small town. Hometown of Sheryl Crow. I'm sure some of you all know her. It is located in the southeast corner of Missouri, known as the Boot Hill, which is that very little spot on the Boot Hill. Some people know where it is and some people do not. It is the largest city in the area, so that means there are a few smaller schools that are around in different little towns, but Kennett is the largest, which means we do have a Walmart and a Taco Bell and some other fast food restaurants. Our population is about African American is about 15%. There's about 78% whites. Other races, there's about 3%, and then the poverty rate is like 27%. And as you can see right there, the little star, it says Kennett on the Boot Hill. There's the Kennett Public Schools. There is the preschool through 2nd grade, which is at the bottom left. It is called Masterson Elementary, and that's where I teach. There is a South School, which is at the top right. It's about 3rd through 5th grade kids are there. Middle school is 6th through 8th grade, and it is in the middle bottom. And then the high school, it is 9th through 12th grade, and usually there's graduating class sizes of about 130 and under. Where I work, it is Masterson Elementary. Like I said, it's K through 2 is what I teach. I do not teach the preschool kids. They have half a day at preschool. It's about to lunch, and then lunch, a new group of kids come. There's a little under 500 students enrolled in Masterson, and about 60 virtual students right now that are enrolled. The special classes, there are PE, which is what I teach, art, music, and then there's a library. Each class is about 45 minutes long. We have about 15 to 20 students in each class. The kids that have disabilities, they're included also in the special classes. Usually each class, if there's a special a kid with disabilities in that class, then an aide will be with them, which is very nice because they help out to make sure each kid is able to do every activity. Free breakfast is in the classroom each morning. Also, now everyone gets a free lunch, which is very nice. And then every Friday we've started that every student gets a full bag of food to take home.
Hanna, real quick question. So for those last 3 points, the free breakfast, free lunch, and the bag of food, have any of those you started since, or I guess since COVID has happened?
Sorry, since COVID?
Yeah, has the free breakfast thing and the free lunch, has that happened or started since COVID, or have you always done that?
We have always had, I think about 2, 3, actually it might have been about 4 years ago, we started the free breakfast in the classroom. And then for lunch, we've started it to where this year everyone gets free lunch after COVID.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so before COVID, when we were teaching, lunch was in the cafeteria, which was really, really nice. Kids had fun with their friends at recess. Hand sanitizer was used, but not as much. Students were able to drink out of water fountains. And also for PE, we were able to do lots of games, which now it's very difficult, but we're making it work. Last year is when, in March, I think it was March, like 16th or 17th is when our school went virtual, which means somewhat virtual. We didn't really go do that many virtual activities because everyone was still learning and trying to figure it all out. Everyone was just going crazy. And so finally we figured out, we contacted other schools and all of the administration got together and whatnot. And we got to figure out different ways to help the kids. So like I said, we posted lots of different ideas on Facebook for parents to follow if they have Facebook, different social media websites. We also emailed for the parents that had access to email. We also figured out a way to make packets for students where the teachers got to go up and we handed out food, and on a day we handed out food and different packets for the classes and the students to do if they were able to do. Most of it, some of it was if you had internet access, and some of it was also like for PE, I liked to do different activities such as like jump roping activities or different exercises. I used the Shape America calendar for exercises to send home, which was really nice. Lunch in the classrooms, or now the students get a cart of lunch and also breakfast in the morning still. And they each get a lunch even if they did not ask for a lunch. So some students do bring lunch boxes, but they're still able to eat their lunch box and if they want to order or want to eat a food from the cafeteria. Recess is lots different now. They have stations blocked off where their class has to stay with the students have to stay in their class in a different station. The kids, I think they still like that, but the students are starting to get annoyed with each other, which is a big challenge with the teachers because the students aren't getting to really see their friends, or if they have brother and sisters in the same grade, they're not getting to see them. It's very sad for the kids, but they're figuring it out. Germex is 24/7. We have bottles posted up everywhere. The water fountains, they do get water bottles for the classes now, which is nice for the kids, and they're able to use the water fillings. We have little water filling stations that they can use. Lots of students that are virtual at the start of the year, they're now starting to come back to school. I think the parents might be just getting tired of their kids, but it is nice having the kids back that were virtual so that we can keep them under control and learning schoolwork and getting to do PE and keeping them healthy and everything. It's so nice having them back. PE, I've been doing lots of footwork and different footwork stations and trying to make it to where each kid is able to still have fun and do the different activities that I do. I've added stretch spots, which I'll talk more about that here in a bit.
So let me ask Hannah a couple questions in regards to this line. The first one I'm thinking about is up at the very top is when schools closed, you all had to close, so you went to a somewhat virtual environment. What was grading like during that time?
The grading it was if they did their packets, they could get grades, but I really don't think we had that many teachers really grading. It was just difficult, especially with elementary. Now, I know with high school and middle school, they were still having to do homework, and they were able to do things, I think, on Google Classroom with all them. And I think if they got it done, that's how they got their points.
Yeah. So what about you then? What, as a teacher, as a physical education teacher in particular, what was this new environment like for you in March?
It was difficult, but I was able to just check out on like Facebook, like I said, and I looked up Shape America and things that you posted pretty much to see like what other people around in Missouri and other schools and towns and whatnot are doing. And so I just kind of went with the flow, and when they needed some things, I kind of got things together and I researched, and it was hard.
Yeah, so more direct into instruction then is how are you able to deliver instruction, as a physical education teacher in your setting during this time? Could you?
Well, really, it was hard because, especially for elementary, they didn't have computers to take home right off. I don't even think they took home computers at all, actually. And so I couldn't really do anything except for just making sure I got ideas in the packet. So if parents got their packets, they got to do the link, whatever link I posted, and I made like a document of different links, and it was hard. And I wanted to make sure, because I know most of the kids didn't have PE equipment at home, like even a jump rope. So I wanted to make sure they did like different scavenger hunts to do with the family, and that was pretty much my instruction. I couldn't really. The special teachers all got together on, I guess on Zoom. I think it was on Zoom, or we just made a big document of all the special classes, and they just stuck that in there.
Okay, and last question to this, and we'll keep it moving. What was the feedback you got finishing out that spring semester?
Well, it was really just, I feel like it wasn't much of a feedback that we got. It was just making sure everyone was keeping in contact of their students to make sure they're all okay and getting at least some work done. And we just were hoping that this year was a new year and starting new, and we didn't really get much feedback. Well, I didn't. It was just a bunch of mess.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I kind of mumbled. I don't know.
I know. I mean, I think that was a lot of teachers, not just physical education and health teachers, but just a lot of teachers during this time, little feedback and just trying to make the best of this situation. So I'll let you keep going.
Okay.
We're back on.
Okay, so my elementary PE class, what I like to do is I figured out little spots with duct tape I put on the gym floor, and I measured out to like 6-7 feet apart. And it's actually, surprisingly, I've enjoyed it better. Because usually I used to just have them all line up and then we would do our warm-up laps. Well, I was still learning elementary PE. I was used to 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade girls, PE, and health at middle school. And I was still learning elementary last year, let's just say that. And so this year, it's still learning year, I guess, for everyone. But for me with elementary, I'm still trying to get in the hang of teaching elementary little kids. And I really love it. It's lots of fun, way more fun than I had with middle school kids, just because they're more hands-on, and I can actually get in and have fun with them. And so the students come in, they get to find their own spot on the gym floor. Sometimes I'll have students that want to sit on a random spot, and I'm like, well, it's okay. We'll go with the flow. I like to go with the flow all the time with my classes, because I know elementary, it's not always going to be perfect. Anyway, so we start off, I Germex. I go around and Germex all the kids' little hands, and then we do these little warm-up laps. I send them by rows, so to make sure that they're still away from each other. We go around, everyone's getting to cheer on each other, and they love it because they get to cheer. I play music. They love Kids Bop. And then after we do that for about probably 10 minutes, depending on if the kids are getting too out of hand or not, I just kind of go with flow with that. We do some stretches. I have a set of stretches that I do that probably take about 3 minutes, sometimes 4, just depending on how the kids are doing. After class, then I do some more Germex. And then I like to do sometimes different relay races with them. which I know a lot of kids, they do not like to race. So I'll play different games that are not racing, but they're still getting to run and get their energy out. And I have to put them in their tables from classes, which means in their classes, they have to sit at certain tables like cohorts. And so when I call like so-and-so's table, they'll line up and get behind a cone. And then the next table will line up. So I have them all still split up in their cohorts, which is nice, where I can still do some different things with them. If it's outside, if it's nice, we go outside, and they like to run the track and get some energy out like that. But to me, I like to be inside because I can see that they're focused and they're ready to work, and I can do way more activities I like inside. And thank goodness the school lets me stay inside and they aren't making me go outside for PE. When we're inside, like I said, the stretches and the footwork, I like to do different drills with them to keep their hand-eye coordination and footwork and everything going. The aides are with the kids that have a disability, which is very nice, but I like to take over the kids with a disability at times, and the aide will kind of control my class and do different, making sure those kids are following the right things and everything else. My classes are 45 minutes long, and I try to time it out to where they are continuously doing different exercises, different footwork, different things. The entire class, they get about maybe a 5-minute break, if that, and that's usually at the end of class. So they are laying down flat on the ground whenever it's time for their teacher to come. Between classes, I do have 5 minutes to clean any equipment. So this week I've been doing scooters, and they love the scooters. So I just make sure to Germex them in between the scooters too. So really I Germex their hands about 4 to 5 times a class period, depending on what we do. Like when I do stations, footwork stations, I try to do Germex every time we rotate. I'd like to do different, like 6 different stations of footwork, drills like soccer, kicking the ball. Let's see, I do scooters too. I do little stilt things that we have, little stilt on cups. The kids love those. Kicking the ball around cones. I try to do different activities that every kid can do and enjoy, and not activities like soccer games or anything like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so Hannah, let me cut in real quick, because this is a great chance to kind of get the visual of what your class is looking like right now. And a big question I have for your particular setting is, at least in your school, do you have to wear a mask? Are students wearing masks right now?
We get the option to wear a mask, and so usually if I'm walking in the hallways, I'll wear the mask. But the kids, most of the kids do not wear masks. And if I'm away from the kids doing the stretches and activities with them, and I try to stay 6 feet apart from them also and not wear a mask, but we are not mandatory to wear masks here.
Okay. Yeah, and we know from some of the information we've gotten about COVID-19 is that the younger ages, are less susceptible to this disease and everything. So I can truly understand that. Definitely got a lot of cleaning, a lot of disinfecting there, right? With all this, I'm looking through, and doesn't seem, aside from a lot more cleaning and disinfecting, which we would want anyway when it comes to physical education, doesn't seem like much has changed necessarily in your classroom, right?
Right. It's just making sure everything's clean. We did that before, pretty much, making sure everything's clean, but not as intense, and cleaning and staying on top of everything, making sure to Germex. That's changed. We have to stay on top of it.
Oh yeah, that's a good change. That's a good change.
Yes.
Classes. So kind of hitting into this last slide here of your presentation, Hannah. You're here, and I brought you on. Thank you once again for kind of accepting this opportunity to share what you're doing. But you represent kind of that rural environment, and we want to make sure, especially with MOSHAPE, that it's reaching all corners of Missouri, right? So, through this slide right here and just a little bit past this, tell us about where some of those opportunities for improvement are and how MOSHAPE fits into that.
Okay, so opportunities for improvement for our school. I'd like for other people to attend more conventions and webinars for more teaching ideas, which would be really nice. And I like to attend all the webinars too, but I know a lot of other PE teachers in our area, they somewhat can get lazy and not want to attend, And so I'd like to make sure that everyone on Facebook, there's a lot of social media, different activities that I know that I could kind of explain to other teachers in our area and PE teachers and show them on Facebook that there's a whole bunch of different ideas that you can see on the groups, and it's very nice. Getting to know other teachers in surrounding schools and getting ideas from them is very helpful. I think that MOSHAPE has done a really good job at having new ideas and new webinars for teachers to follow. I think they're doing an awesome job at getting other people involved, and especially in this small town, it's just great how MOSHAPE and has helped other teachers get, especially like me, I like to follow, get to where we are right now. I think, does anyone have any questions? Just contact me on my email at hlack@kennett.k12.mo.us, and then the school phone number at Masterson Elementary is 573-717-115. And I would love to answer any questions, or if anyone wants any help with anything, I would love to be that person. So thank you.
And we appreciate you, Hannah. So one thing, one of those takeaways and kind of the resources you mentioned were the Shape America calendars, and I'll definitely share that with those who tune into this video. Are there any other resources that you think, will help people, especially those that maybe don't have the tools or resources otherwise?
I'm trying to think. I would think, like I said, I know I've said it 1,000 times, but Facebook, the Facebook groups, they have so many different ideas and uploads videos and pictures that have helped me a lot. And also YouTube. I always get on YouTube a lot of times to look up different footwork activities and different videos, because sometimes I like to show the kids a video of, like, last year I taught jump roping, and I like to show a video of the difference between long jump roping and the short jump roping, like individual jump roping. And there's a lot of good videos showing the kids, like, exactly of different kids doing it, and short, like 3-minute videos, and they enjoy that.
Any particular group or person or organization to follow on YouTube?
On Facebook or YouTube? YouTube, I just searched. YouTube, I just searched, and I didn't know there were certain groups on YouTube.
That's okay. Hey, a random Google search or YouTube search to get you whatever you want. That's the benefit of this world we live in, because all the answers are just right at our fingertips, right? So we want to thank Hannah for being on. Thank you so much, Hannah, for presenting for us and just kind of talking about your setting and everything. And once again, congratulations on the new arrival in your family. We wish you the best.
Thank you so much.